Welcome back to our channel, Rare Coins Collections, overlooked in your collections, but trust me, this little piece of US history might be worth far more than you think. We're talking about the 1978 Lincoln penny with a special mint mark. At first glance, it might seem like just another copper penny, but don't be fooled. This seemingly ordinary coin could have a surprising value, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why a single 1978 Lincoln penny might be worth $75,000. That's right, this tiny coin can hold a big surprise. Let's start by taking a quick look at the background of the Lincoln penny, which has been an iconic part of American coinage since 1909. Designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln penny was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, rather than an allegorical figure. The obverse of the coin features a profile of President Abraham Lincoln, with the words, "In God we trust, liberty," and the year of minting. On the reverse side, you'll find the iconic wheat ears design that remained in place until 1958, when it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial. The Lincoln Memorial design stayed in circulation for many years, and that's the one we see on the 1978 penny. In 1978, the U.S. Mint continued producing these pennies with the Lincoln Memorial reverse, and millions of them were made. The coin was minted in large quantities, as pennies always are. But here's the thing, just because a coin is widely circulated doesn't mean it's not valuable. In fact, when you take a closer look at certain years, certain mint marks, and even specific conditions, you'll discover that some coins are worth far more than their face value. The key to the value of the 1978 Lincoln penny lies in its rarity and the condition it's in. As with all coins, the state of preservation plays a huge role in determining its worth. Coins that were heavily circulated during the 1970s have seen their fair share of wear and tear, with most showing signs of scratches, dents, and discoloration. But here's where things get interesting. Finding a 1978 penny in pristine, uncirculated condition is rare, and that rarity drives its value up. Now, let's talk about the mint marks. Like most U.S. coins, the 1978 Lincoln penny was minted at different locations, and the mint mark indicates where the coin was produced. The mint marks you're looking for on the 1978 penny are D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and no mint mark for coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint. So, you might be wondering, what makes a 1978 penny with a specific mint mark so valuable? Well, the answer lies in how many of these pennies were produced at each mint, how they were distributed, and how many survived in exceptional condition. The most commonly found 1978 Lincoln pennies are the ones with the D mint mark from the Denver Mint. These were the most widely produced, and millions were in circulation throughout the country. However, as is often the case with mass-produced coins, most of them became worn and damaged over the years, making it difficult to find one in pristine condition. That's why collectors prize well-preserved 1978 Denver Mint pennies. They're rare, and finding them in excellent condition can make them very valuable. On the other hand, the 1978 penny with an S mint mark from the San Francisco Mint is considered a bit rarer, and there are some variations in its production that can make it stand out even more. The San Francisco Mint primarily produced proof coins, which were made for collectors and not meant for general circulation. So, if you find a 1978 penny with an S mint mark in uncirculated or near perfect condition, it could be a real treasure. These coins are much harder to find, and their value can be significantly higher than a regular 1978 penny with a D mint mark. But let's not forget the role of minting errors in the world of coin collecting. Mint errors are one of the main reasons why certain coins, like the 1978 Lincoln penny, can skyrocket in value. While errors are uncommon, they do happen, and when they do, collectors go crazy for them. Some of the most valuable minting errors for the 1978 penny include double strikes, where the coin is struck multiple times during the minting process, or off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned. These imperfections can make the coin look unusual, but they're what collectors are looking for when hunting for rare and valuable pieces. In addition to errors, certain features on the 1978 Lincoln penny can also increase its value. For example, a coin that has been kept in a special protective case or one that's been well preserved from the time it was first minted is considered a much rarer find. Collectors prize coins that are in excellent condition, free of scratches, discoloration, and other signs of wear. A 1978 penny with perfect luster and little to no signs of handling is a true gem for collectors. The grade of the coin is essential, and the higher the grade, the higher the potential value. Coins that are graded MS65 or higher can fetch much higher prices than those in lower grades, so it's worth getting a professional grading service to assess your coin. It's also important to note that the 1978 penny is a part of a larger trend of collectible coins from the late 20th century. Many of these coins were produced in massive quantities, and yet, as the years go by, fewer and fewer of them survive in excellent condition. This makes coins from the 1970s, especially ones like the 1978 penny, increasingly valuable. As more collectors and investors look for these coins to add to their collections, the demand for high-quality, rare versions of the 1978 penny continues to rise. So, what can you expect to pay for a 1978 Lincoln penny? Well, if you've got one in near-perfect condition, you could be looking at a few dollars above face value. But when it comes to high-grade, uncirculated versions or those with minting errors, you could be looking at a significantly higher price. In fact, some collectors have paid up to $75,000 for a single 1978 Lincoln penny with an error or in exceptional condition. Yes, $75,000 for a penny. While this price might sound unbelievable, it's not out of the question for a truly rare and high-quality coin. If you happen to own a 1978 Lincoln penny, now is the time to check its condition and see if it might be one of those rare, valuable finds. Whether it's a minting error, a pristine coin with perfect luster, or just a version with a low mintage, you could be sitting on a small fortune without even knowing it. If you think your coin might be valuable, it's worth getting it professionally graded by one of the trusted coin grading services. They'll be able to tell you exactly what you have and give you a clearer idea of its value. In conclusion, the 1978 Lincoln penny is far more than just a small piece of copper in your pocket. It's a potential treasure that could be worth thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars. If you find one in exceptional condition, with no signs of wear, or perhaps even with a minting error, you could be holding on to something worth $75,000. So, take a look at your change, dig through your collection, and who knows, you could be the lucky owner of a coin that's worth far more than you ever imagined. Today, we're exploring an iconic and fascinating piece of U.S. history, the 1960 Lincoln penny with a special mint mark. You might be thinking, it's just another penny. But let me tell you, this particular coin could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Today, we'll uncover the hidden value of the 1960 Lincoln penny, and by the end of this video, you'll be amazed to learn how much a single coin could fetch. Trust me, the amount might just blow your mind, so stay tuned to find out just how much this coin is really worth. Spoiler alert, it could be worth $70,000. That's right, $70,000 for a single penny. Stick with me as we explore the history, rarity, and what makes this coin so valuable. Let's start by delving into the history of the Lincoln penny. First minted in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the penny was designed by the artist Victor David Brenner. It was the first U.S. coin to feature the portrait of a real person, and ever since, it's been a key part of U.S. currency. The design of the penny has changed over time, but one thing remains constant: the image of Lincoln's face on the obverse, and on the reverse, the iconic wheat ears design, which was used until 1958. From 1959 onward, the reverse was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial, which is the design featured on the 1960 penny. Now, the 1960 Lincoln penny was part of a significant time in U.S. history. The country was coming out of the post-World War II boom, and there were changes taking place in the economy. The Mint produced pennies in large quantities that year, and most of them were made from a copper-plated steel composition. However, a special series of these pennies had some noteworthy variations that make them particularly interesting to collectors today. So, let's dig into what makes the 1960 penny so special. When most people think about the 1960 penny, they imagine the standard copper-plated version, which was produced in large numbers. But what you may not know is that there are some key variations and errors that make certain 1960 pennies highly sought after by collectors. One of the most important aspects to consider is the mint mark. The 1960 Lincoln penny was minted at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each of these locations used a different mint mark to identify where the coin was produced. For most of us, these mint marks might seem like small details, but to collectors, they can make a world of difference. Let's start with the most common type of 1960 penny, the one minted in Philadelphia with no mint mark. These are the pennies that you'll most likely come across in your change. While they are the most common, they aren't necessarily valuable, unless, of course, you find one in pristine condition. Minting errors or unique features can still make these common coins more valuable than their face value. For example, a 1960 penny that has been kept in uncirculated condition or that exhibits a certain grade can be worth much more than a typical penny. But to really understand the value of the 1960 penny, we need to look more closely at the rare variations. One of the most intriguing variations of the 1960 penny involves the small date and large date distinctions. You see, in 1960, the U.S. Mint released 2 different types of the penny, and these variations have had a huge impact on their value. The 2 types differ in the size of the numbers used to represent the year. The large date has a noticeably larger 9 and 6 compared to the small date, which has smaller digits. The small date variety is the rarer of the 2, and as you might expect, it's also more valuable. The 1960 small date penny is considered a key date in the Lincoln penny series, and it can fetch a pretty penny, especially if it's in uncirculated condition. So, if you happen to come across a 1960 penny with a small date, take a moment to inspect it closely. If it's in good shape and has no signs of wear, it could be worth significantly more than a standard penny. Another critical factor in determining the value of the 1960 penny is the presence of mint errors. Mint errors are mistakes that happen during the production process, and they can make a coin extremely valuable. In the case of the 1960 penny, some of the most desirable errors include double strikes, off-center strikes, and repunched mint marks. Double strikes occur when a coin is struck more than once during the minting process, causing the design to be visible in 2 places. An off-center strike occurs when the coin isn't properly aligned during minting, which results in a design that is partially cut off on one side. These errors are very rare, and if you come across one, it could mean big money. Repunched mint marks are another error that can make a 1960 penny extremely valuable. A repunched mint mark occurs when the die used to mint the coin is not properly aligned, causing the mint mark to appear twice or in a blurry fashion. This type of error can make a coin even more desirable to collectors who specialize in minting mistakes. Now, you might be wondering, how do you determine the value of a 1960 Lincoln penny? Well, there are a few things to consider. The condition of the coin is the most important factor, followed by the mint mark and any variations or errors. If you're lucky enough to have a 1960 small date penny, a minting error, or one in excellent condition, you could be sitting on a gold mine. Coins that are graded as MS65 or higher, meaning they are in near perfect condition, can fetch a much higher price than those in lower grades. A 1960 Lincoln penny in uncirculated or near mint condition can easily be worth several $100s, but the real value comes with rare variations or minting errors. Some of the highest selling examples of the 1960 small date penny with a minting error have gone for thousands of dollars, especially when they are graded highly. A 1960 penny with a small date and a mint error could easily reach the thousands, but it gets even more exciting when you consider the ultimate prize. If you have an exceptionally rare 1960 Lincoln penny with a mint error or in perfect condition, it could be worth as much as $70,000. Yes, $70,000 for a single penny. It may sound unbelievable, but the demand for high-grade, rare pennies like these has been steadily increasing over the years, as collectors become more and more interested in acquiring these hidden treasures. So, what should you do if you find a 1960 Lincoln penny that you think could be valuable? First, make sure to carefully examine the coin. Look for the small date or any obvious mint errors, and if you think you've got something special, take it to a professional coin grader to get it appraised. Professional grading can help determine the true value of your coin and can often increase its price when you decide to sell it. Remember, condition is key, and the better the condition, the higher the value. In conclusion, the 1960 Lincoln penny is more than just a piece of change. It's a coin that could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. Whether it's the rarer small date variety, a coin in uncirculated condition, or one with a minting error, this penny could be a true treasure. Today, we're going to focus on an iconic piece of American currency that might just be hiding in your coin jar or piggy bank, the 1973 Lincoln penny. Now, you might be thinking, it's just another penny, right? Well, hold on to your hats, because this seemingly ordinary coin could actually be worth a whole lot more than you think. If you've got a 1973 penny in your collection, you'll want to stick around because by the end of this video, you'll be amazed at how much this little coin could be worth. You'll want to see for yourself why this specific coin could be worth as much as $80,000. The Lincoln penny, first minted in 1909, is one of the most recognizable and collected coins in the United States. Over the years, this coin has gone through various changes, but the essence of Abraham Lincoln's image remains constant. While pennies are usually thought of as low-value coins, certain years, mint marks, and special characteristics can turn them into incredibly valuable collectibles. The 1973 penny, especially, is one that has captured the attention of collectors and investors alike. But why? Let's break it down. First, let's take a step back and talk about the history behind the Lincoln penny. The Lincoln Memorial design, which graces the reverse of the penny, was introduced in 1959 and has remained unchanged ever since. However, as with most coins, the U.S. Mint has continued to produce variations year after year, and the 1973 penny is no exception. The 1973 penny was produced in the midst of a rapidly changing American economy, and while the penny itself might seem rather ordinary, there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. The design was struck in copper, and while the mint's production numbers were high, certain factors would later contribute to this coin's rarity and value. The first thing to note about the 1973 penny is the mint mark. It may seem like a small detail, but the mint mark indicates where the coin was produced. There were 3 primary U.S. mint locations that struck coins in 1973: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Pennies from Philadelphia generally don't have a mint mark, while those from Denver carry the D mint mark, and those from San Francisco are marked with an S. But here's where things get interesting: not all 1973 pennies are created equal. The 1973 pennies struck at the San Francisco Mint are particularly rare and are more sought after by collectors. Why are San Francisco mint-marked pennies so valuable? It's due to their lower mintage numbers and the fact that San Francisco produced fewer pennies compared to the Philadelphia and Denver mints. While a typical 1973 penny might not be worth more than its face value if it's from one of these mints, the San Francisco variant is a different story. Mint errors and rare variations in these coins can turn them into highly desirable collector's items. A penny from San Francisco, especially one that has been well preserved or exhibits unique features, could be worth far more than you would expect. One of the most exciting things about the 1973 Lincoln penny is the potential for minting errors. Minting errors are mistakes that occur during the production process and can make a coin highly valuable. With the 1973 penny, there are a few key minting errors that collectors are on the lookout for. One of the most common errors is the double die. This occurs when the coin die is struck more than once, causing the image on the coin to be duplicated or misaligned. A 1973 penny with a double die error, especially if it's from the San Francisco Mint, could dramatically increase in value. Another type of error to watch for is the off-center strike. This happens when the blank coin is not aligned properly in the press, causing part of the design to be off-center. An off-center 1973 penny can be a rare find, and collectors are always excited to get their hands on one. These minting errors are what make the 1973 penny so interesting to collectors, as they add a layer of rarity and uniqueness to the coin. Condition is another critical factor in determining the value of a 1973 penny. Like all coins, the better the condition, the higher its value. Coins that have been well preserved and show little to no signs of wear are more desirable to collectors. For a 1973 penny to fetch top dollar, it should ideally be in uncirculated or near mid condition. The higher the grade a coin receives from a professional grading service, the more valuable it becomes. Coins that are graded MS65 or higher can be worth significantly more than those in lower grades. When you factor in minting errors, rare variations, and excellent condition, you start to see why the 1973 penny could be more valuable than you might think. Many coins that are in great condition or that have unique mint errors can be sold for several $100s, but if you have a truly rare 1973 penny, one that checks all the boxes in terms of rarity, error, and condition, you could be sitting on a small fortune. So, let's get down to the exciting part: the value of the 1973 penny. As I mentioned earlier, the standard 1973 penny from Philadelphia or Denver isn't worth much more than its face value, unless it has unique characteristics. But the 1973 penny with an S mint mark, particularly one with a minting error or an exceptional condition, can be worth a whole lot more. The value of a 1973 Lincoln penny can range dramatically depending on its condition and any unique features it may have. Some rare examples, especially those with significant minting errors or high grades, have sold for thousands of dollars. But hold on, here's the real kicker. If you're fortunate enough to have a pristine example of a 1973 penny, one with a rare error or from a limited mintage, you could be looking at a potential sale price of $80,000. Yes, $80,000 for a single penny, this is no exaggeration. High quality, rare 1973 pennies with minting errors have been known to fetch staggering prices at auctions or private sales. Collectors are willing to pay top dollar for coins that are both historically significant and incredibly rare. And with the ever-growing demand for unique and valuable coins, your 1973 Lincoln penny could be worth much more than you ever imagined. If you've got a 1973 penny lying around, don't dismiss it as just another piece of change. It could very well be the key to unlocking a small fortune. Take the time to examine your pennies carefully, look for any mint errors, and make sure to check the mint mark. If you find a penny from San Francisco with a rare error or an exceptional condition, it could be worth a substantial amount of money. So, what's the bottom line? The 1973 Lincoln penny might seem like a simple coin, but with its rare mint variations, potential for errors, and historical significance, it's much more valuable than you think. If you've got one of these pennies in your collection, it might be worth $80,000. Imagine that, $80,000 for something you probably picked up in your pocket change. So, the next time you find a 1973 penny, give it a closer look. You might just be holding a valuable piece of history in your hands. Today's video, we're going to take a close look at a coin that you might have overlooked in your spare change, a 1981 Lincoln penny. Now, you might think of the Lincoln penny as just another cent, a small coin you toss into your jar or use to pay for parking. But what if I told you that the 1981 Lincoln penny could be worth much more than its face value? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll discover just how valuable this seemingly ordinary penny can be, and it could be worth as much as $88,000. Let's start by diving into a bit of history. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Since then, it has become one of the most iconic and recognized coins in the United States. Over the years, the design has changed several times, but the image of Lincoln's profile has remained a symbol of American strength, resilience, and unity. Now, let's zoom in on the 1981 penny. You might wonder, what makes the 1981 Lincoln penny so special? Well, the value of this coin doesn't come from the design, it comes from certain features and characteristics that make it stand out from the millions of pennies that were minted that year. And trust me, there's more to it than meets the eye. One of the first things that collectors look for when assessing a coin's value is its condition. The 1981 Lincoln penny, like any coin, was produced in large quantities, but the majority of them were circulated and eventually saw wear and tear. However, those that were well preserved or left untouched in their original mint condition are much more valuable. In fact, uncirculated 1981 pennies can fetch a significant amount of money, and that's just the beginning. The real value lies in the rarities, those special variants that set some 1981 pennies apart from the rest. One of the key elements that can increase the value of a 1981 penny is its mint mark. The mint mark indicates where the coin was struck. The U.S. Mint has three main facilities where coins are produced: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. For the 1981 Lincoln penny, the coins produced in Philadelphia did not carry a mint mark, while those struck in Denver are marked with a D. Most of the pennies you encounter will likely be from Denver, but the rarer ones can come from Philadelphia. You may be wondering, what makes the Philadelphia 1981 pennies so valuable? Here's the catch: many of the 1981 pennies from Philadelphia had an unusual characteristic. Some of them were produced with certain imperfections, like double die errors, or were struck with slightly off-center designs. These unique qualities can increase their desirability and ultimately boost their value. Mint errors are highly sought after by collectors, as they represent a rare mistake that's part of the coin's history. If you happen to have a 1981 Lincoln penny with any kind of minting flaw, particularly one with a double die error, it could significantly raise the price you could sell it for. Let's talk about another key feature that can raise the value of a 1981 penny: the grade. Coin collectors and dealers often grade coins based on their condition. A coin in excellent condition, with no visible scratches, dents, or discoloration, will have a much higher value than one that has been worn down by years of circulation. If your 1981 Lincoln penny is graded as MS65 or higher, which means it's in mint or near mint condition, it will be worth far more than a regular circulated penny. The higher the grade, the higher the value. This is where the value of rare pennies, like the 1981 Lincoln, really starts to soar. But wait, there's more. There are even rarer, more valuable varieties of the 1981 penny that could make your coin worth tens of thousands of dollars. Some of the 1981 Lincoln pennies, particularly those minted in Philadelphia, have been known to have unusual characteristics that occurred during the minting process. For example, certain coins from that year might have slight design changes or even be struck with improperly aligned dies, resulting in a coin that is highly desirable to collectors who specialize in minting errors. Now, you may be wondering, how much is my 1981 Lincoln penny really worth? As I've mentioned before, the value of a coin depends on its condition, mint mark, and whether it has any rare features or errors. A regular 1981 penny, even in excellent condition, might only be worth a few cents more than its face value. But if you happen to have one of those rare Philadelphia mint-marked pennies, especially one with a double die error, a misaligned strike, or an off-center design, the value can go through the roof. In fact, a well-preserved 1981 penny with an error could be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Now, are you ready for the big reveal? If you have a 1981 Lincoln penny with the right characteristics, say, a rare mint error, a unique design flaw, or it's in pristine condition, it could be worth a staggering $88,000. Yes, you heard that right, $88,000 for a single penny. You might be thinking, how is this even possible? Well, it all comes down to rarity, condition, and collector demand. Coin collectors and investors are always on the lookout for rare, high-quality coins, and the 1981 Lincoln penny, especially one with a minting error or special characteristic, has become a hot commodity in the world of numismatics. So, what should you do now? If you have a 1981 penny, or if you're out searching for coins, make sure to check it carefully. Look for any minting errors, check the mint mark, and assess its overall condition. You might just find that you have a coin that's worth much more than you ever expected. And if you don't have a 1981 penny in your collection yet, keep your eyes peeled. These rare and valuable pennies are out there, waiting to be discovered. A quick trip to your local coin shop, a visit to a coin show, or even digging through your pocket change could turn up a valuable find that could be worth thousands, or even tens of thousands, of dollars. Today, we're going to explore a coin that you might have overlooked but could be worth a small fortune. We're talking about the 1972 Lincoln penny, a coin that, despite its common appearance, could actually be worth far more than its face value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, the 1972 Lincoln penny is a coin that might surprise you. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this penny so valuable, and we'll even reveal how much a rare 1972 penny could be worth. So, make sure you stick around. The Lincoln penny has been an essential part of American currency for over a century. First introduced in 1909, the Lincoln penny was designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Over the years, it has become one of the most recognized and beloved coins in the world. While the design has remained largely the same, with the image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, there are years when the penny became a key focus for collectors, and 1972 is certainly one of those years. Now, let's talk about the 1972 Lincoln penny. Why is this particular penny so valuable? The 1972 penny, in and of itself, isn't all that unusual. It features the standard Lincoln Memorial design, which was used from 1959 to 2008. However, what makes this coin interesting is its rarity and the presence of some minting errors that can drastically increase its value. The 1972 penny was minted in large quantities, so you might think that it's a dime a dozen. But the truth is, certain 1972 pennies with specific characteristics can be incredibly valuable. One of the primary factors that determine a coin's value is its condition. Many 1972 pennies you'll encounter will be in poor condition due to years of circulation. However, uncirculated coins, those that were never used in transactions, are much rarer and can be worth significantly more. The higher the grade of the coin, the higher the value. A well-preserved 1972 penny in mint or near mint condition could fetch a much higher price than you'd expect. If you have one that's in top condition, congratulations, you're holding on to something special. In addition to the coin's condition, one of the most exciting aspects of the 1972 Lincoln penny is the possibility of finding a rare mint error. Mint errors are highly sought after by collectors, and if you happen to stumble upon a 1972 penny with an error, it could be worth far more than a regular one. Some of the most valuable 1972 pennies feature double die errors, where the design is imprinted onto the coin more than once, creating a noticeable overlap. These types of errors are rare and often fetch impressive prices at auction. Another type of error that makes the 1972 penny stand out is the wide AM variety. In 1992, the U.S. Mint began altering the design of the reverse side of the penny, and this change carried over to subsequent years. In the 1972 penny, there is a subtle variation in the spacing between the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse side. Some of the 1972 pennies have a closer A and M, while others have a wider gap between the two letters. This is a small but important distinction, and if you have a 1972 penny with the wide AM variety, you could have a valuable coin on your hands. Furthermore, you'll want to take a closer look at the mint mark on your 1972 penny. The mint mark tells you where the coin was struck, and for the 1972 penny, you'll either find a D mint mark, indicating it was minted in Denver, or no mint mark, which means it was struck in Philadelphia. Most 1972 pennies you come across will be from the Denver Mint, but those that were struck in Philadelphia are less common. While the presence of a mint mark doesn't automatically make a coin valuable, it does add another layer of rarity, which can influence the overall price. Another thing to note is the importance of the specific year itself. While the U.S. Mint produces billions of pennies every year, some years, like 1972, were particularly significant in terms of the coin's production and the types of errors that occurred. The 1972 penny is part of the broader history of the U.S. Mint's experimentation with coin design and production techniques. And as with any collectible, historical context can make a huge difference in the coin's value. So, how much could your 1972 Lincoln penny be worth? Well, if your penny is in uncirculated condition or has a unique error, such as the double die or wide AM variety, the value could be substantial. In fact, certain 1972 Lincoln pennies have been known to sell for thousands of dollars. But here's the kicker: the rarest, most valuable 1972 pennies can reach mind-blowing prices. If you happen to have a perfect specimen of the 1972 Lincoln penny, especially one with an error or rare minting feature, it could be worth a whopping $98,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. $98,000 for a single penny. That's the incredible value that a rare, high-quality 1972 Lincoln penny with a minting error or other unique characteristics can fetch at auction. Of course, not every 1972 penny will be worth that much, but it just goes to show how valuable a well-preserved coin with the right characteristics can be. It's amazing to think that a coin worth just 1 cent could become a true treasure, worth thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. So, what should you do if you find a 1972 Lincoln penny in your collection or in your pocket change? The first thing you should do is carefully examine it. Look for signs of minting errors, like the double die or the wide AM variety. Check the condition of the coin. If it's in mint condition, it could already be worth more than face value. Take a closer look at the mint mark, and make sure the coin has not been damaged by wear and tear. The better the condition, the higher the value. If you find a 1972 penny that looks like it could be rare, it's worth having it professionally graded by a coin grading service. A professional grade can help you determine the true value of the coin and help you decide whether it's worth keeping or selling. In conclusion, the 1972 Lincoln penny is a perfect example of how something that seems ordinary can actually hold incredible value. Whether it's due to minting errors, rare varieties, or simply the coin's condition, the 1972 penny has the potential to be worth far more than just 1 cent. So, next time you're sorting through your change or digging through your coin collection, be sure to keep an eye out for a 1972 Lincoln penny. It could be worth more than you think. And if you're lucky enough to find one of those rare pennies, you could be looking at a potential windfall of $98,000. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy collecting!